I want to set you a little mental task to see how awake you are, how knowledgeable you are, how perceptive you are, how tuned in you are. And how I'm going to do that is by showing you something and asking you, what do you see? I want to know if you see what I see. So, what I want you to think about and look at is this. Just a box of Kellogg's Crunchy Nut cornflakes. Now, each evening between 5 and 7 p.m., I lie on the couch and listen to 432 hertz music, the music of the cosmos, the music of God. That 432 equals 9. 9 is the universal number for consciousness. And so it's significant, this frequency. They knew about it then. How did they know about the 432 hertz frequency 2,000 years ago, people? Bizarre, isn't it? How did they know? Did they coin the term or the number 9, to represent consciousness? I'm going to have to look into that. Who did that first? Things to think about, yeah. But this 432 hertz, the theta realm, our everyday consciousness is in the beta realm. Then when we get in a little bit drowsy, hypnotized, like for instance when we're watching TV, just staring at the TV, we're not really absorbing anything. When we're driving and we're on autopilot, that's the alpha realm. So everyday consciousness is the beta realm. Then we go down to the alpha realm. Then beyond that, we go down to the theta realm. And the theta realm is that beautiful stillness, which is one step above pure sleep. So the theta realm is the realm where we are awake, but the mind is not active. It's just flatlining. And ideally, it is still and there's nothing going on. And when you are in that realm, and when you spend time in that realm with number 9 for consciousness, then your mind purifies itself and expands and nurtures itself, and it's the God realm, the realm of God, the realm of pure spirit, pure open consciousness, without the infiltration and pollution of the higher vibrations, the alpha and the beta, you see. Now, I was just standing, listening to Osho, and Osho was speaking about when we wake up between 3 and 5 a.m. 3 is kind of like 3, 4 a.m. When we wake up at that time, and we're just alert, we're awake. It's a beautiful time. And he was saying, don't be afraid, don't be restless, don't be agitated. Be open, because you've woken up at that time for a reason. Because your soul, your spirit, your deep inner self wants time for reflection, and it wants to point something out to you. He wants to ask, do you know who's there? Do you know who you are? Do you know what's going on? When you be comfortable with waking up in those hours and just lying in a meditation, you feel such a stillness and such a bliss. Now, I spoke about this in my video in the church, and I was saying, look, people, if you want to get into the kingdom of God, there's a few things that you have to know and do. And one of them, I was saying, is you have to find this pure stillness. And I spoke about how I woke up with an absolute blissful feeling, an expanse of consciousness, feeling so huge. The consciousness is so huge, empty, and yet filled with bliss. It's a very, very alluring, very beautifying state of consciousness. I used to wake up in that state of consciousness a great deal when I was doing much more meditation, or when I was taking kratom, because kratom absolutely relaxes the body. And so when you lie in bed on kratom, you just feel like, everything is loose. Everything is just fluffy and warm. Kratom puts you in this space. It's like cotton wool. You can actually feel your consciousness all around, and it's cozy and delicious. So when you wake up, having been fully rested, let's say you've gone to bed at 10, 11, so you've had 4 hours sleep, something like that, and your mind just comes online. Sometimes it's quite startling, because what happens is your consciousness just comes on, and from being completely unconscious, you are absolutely awake. Like there's a purpose, like there's a reason. And this is what Osho was saying. There's a reason, there's a purpose. Your soul wants you to know this. It wants to introduce itself to you. It wants you to learn, to grow, to use this time, to get involved with this time. It wants to show you what's there. And so then you try to get it at other times, during the daytime, through your meditation, through your peaceful walks alone in nature and these sort of things. This video is on YouTube, Osho. Just put in when you wake up at 3 a.m. and you'll find it. So, lots of things to know, to experience, to enable you to enter into the kingdom of God, which I'm always speaking about, which is a blissful state of consciousness, open and free. So when I have my hour listening to the 432 hertz, and it's very dreamy, and very often I'll fall asleep, but because I've got the 432 hertz playing in my ears, I don't go into a deep sleep. I stay fluctuating on the edge of that 432. And that's where my mind is being nurtured. And when I arise from that, I feel wonderful. And very often, when I wake up, I've got the hypnopompia. The hypnopompia is the opposite to hypnagogia. Hypnagogia is the visions you have before you fall to sleep. Hypnopompia is when you awaken from sleep. And when I have these 432 dreamy sounds, on YouTube, again, just put 432 hertz meditation music and, take your pick. But I'm watching, and this is the only time, other than when I'm having some sort of spiritual experience or psychedelic experience, that I'm having visuals. And I see such wonderful, beautiful, playful visuals. And often it's kind of like Looney Tunes, cartoons, just hey, whoo, wow. you know, just crazy things that you could never describe happening. Just like, let's just say, a ball of some colour just, you know, launching up into the sky and exploding like a firework, and then little blue pigs come, you know, falling down, laughing, ha 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 ha, and then when they hit the floor, then they turn into little firecrackers, and everything's jolly and happy, wee wee wee. It's amazing. I'm like, where on earth does that stuff come from? I've experienced it for years. It's such a beautiful place. So beautiful. If there was a narcotic, not a narcotic, an entheogen, if there was an entheogen that could take you into that realm of childlike beauty, childlike bliss, starry-eyed innocence, little baby starry eyes, you know, 1 year old, just looking at the world all around it. That's what it's like. Anyway, tell me what you see. This will be a good test. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to tell me you've got something, but you can't put what it is. And you see, because I want to make sure that people don't go, oh yeah, well of course, everyone knows that, you know, which is always the tendency or propensity, isn't it? When you point something out, people will look at that box forever and they'll never realise it. But then when you say, oh, this, oh, well, I was just sorry, I thought I was looking for something more deeper. No, it's pretty deep, people. It is pretty deep. So, can you see what it is yet? Tell me that you think you can, if you can. And then when I've seen one or two of you maybe who think you've seen it, I'll ask you to state what it is and see what you come up with.